Apple just held its massive WWDC keynote this year, announcing new features for iOS 18, the next version of macOS called Sequoia, but the biggest announcements came at the end when Apple announced Apple Intelligence. It's their answer to AI, and it's going to be integrated across the iPhone, iPad, and Mac. And Apple Intelligence even includes integration with ChatGPT that you'll be able to access natively in apps across all your Apple devices. So let's start out with that Apple Intelligence. Craig Federighi talked about how Apple Intelligence approached everything with privacy and security in mind. So many of the requests, whether it's summarizing text or generating images in iWork, much of that is going to happen on device. But being on device, it's going to require an A17 Pro chip in your iPhone, meaning it's only iPhone 15 Pro or newer, and Macs or iPads with M series chips, so M1 and newer. It's also only launching in beta this fall to US English language devices. For requests that take more computing power, Apple developed this proprietary new technology called Private Cloud Compute. It's going to be using servers powered by Apple Silicon chips, running Swift programming language, and your request is only going to hit servers that are verifiably private by Apple standards. So what can you do with Apple Intelligence? Well, turns out a lot. First of all, Siri is going to get way better. It's going to be contextually aware. Let's say you got a meeting request for later this afternoon, but you also know your daughter has a play. Well, you'll be able to ask Siri, will this meeting conflict with the time of the play tonight? And using Apple Intelligence, it will know the start time of the play because of an image sent to you of the program. It can calculate the traffic time between your work and the play location and take that into account with the meeting time and let you know if it will conflict. There's also lots of image generation features, a new one called Genmoji. With that, you'll be able to basically generate your own Memoji and send those in messages and use elsewhere. And even more powerfully, you'll be able to generate images in things like Keynote, Pages, and in multiple places around Apple's operating system. So if you're creating a slideshow and you want to generate an image of something, you can either sketch it and then ask Apple Intelligence to make it into an image, or just select blank space and it'll be able to create an image from the context around the document. Apple Intelligence is also going to work in your photos. You can use the Magic Wand tool to remove subjects in the back of photos. Google had similar features like that, and you'll be able to do it in Apple Photos as well. And there will be a ton of features for Apple Intelligence when it comes to text, whether that's rewriting emails in a different tone, summarizing things, but even more importantly, in things like your mail list on your iPhone. Rather than show you the first few lines of an email message, it's actually going to show you a summary in that email list. This way you can see the most important information right at the top before you even open the email. And your iPhone is now going to prioritize your emails and even notifications based on their context, not just who it's from. So there'll be a new focus mode where if someone sends you a text message, even if that contact is not allowed to contact you in that focus mode, if Apple Intelligence sees that it's an important piece of information, it'll show it to you on the lock screen. You can see when you select text, you'll be able to choose friendly, professional, or concise, summarize things, and that will also act in things like Safari on Mac and iPhone, allowing you to summarize articles and even give you a table of context. But we'll get to iPhone and Mac in a second. Siri will also have on-screen awareness, so you can ask it questions about things you're looking at on your phone, whether that's an event, a picture, or you can ask it for photos like, give me photos of so-and-so in this location wearing these clothes, and it will find that exact photo, or even a part in a video that you described. And you will get smart reply or auto reply features in Mail, but not only that, let's say you're RSVPing to a party and there were specific questions that someone was emailing you, like chicken or fish. Well, Apple Intelligence will actually give you those contextual menu options right there when you're composing your reply, and you can just choose the options that it intelligently pulled from the original email. Pretty wild. And yes, believe it or not, Apple actually partnered with ChatGPT, so in many places around the OS, if it's something that Apple Intelligence can't do by itself, it will ask you if you want to send this request to ChatGPT, like creating a recipe or a bedtime story, and it will be clear that the result you're getting is from ChatGPT. Apple also announced that other large language models or AI services will be integrated in the future, so it won't always just be ChatGPT. But using it will be free, and your request to ChatGPT within Apple Intelligence won't be shared unless you connect your accounts if you want those ChatGPT Plus features that you already pay for. So there's a ton more depth to go into with Apple Intelligence, but real quick, let me tell you about some of the updates to iOS, iPad, Mac, TV, and Home that were also announced at WWDC. That's the shorthand for WWDC, in case you were wondering. visionOS 2.0 is coming, and it will allow you to make spatial photos with some 3D effect, even from your older 2D images, just ones in your photo library. There'll be new gestures like to go home and navigate without having to tap the crown button. When you're sharing your Mac screen into visionOS, you'll have higher resolution displays, and you can even go into an ultra-wide mode. That'll be pretty useful. There's more immersive content coming directly from Apple and from makers like Red Bull, and there are new tools to actually create immersive content. Canon is going to have a lens for their EOS R7, and Blackmagic is going to have tools in DaVinci and developing their own camera, where creators will be able to film and create that immersive video. They also announced that the Vimeo app on Apple Vision Pro will be able to show that immersive video directly to users. iOS 18 got a bunch of updates for the home screen and control center specifically. Yes, you'll be able to rearrange icons wherever you would like on the home screen. There'll be a new dark mode even for Apple's built-in icons, and you can actually tint all the icons on your home screen. And those third-party apps don't even have to offer it. Apple will do it on the system side. You can control those tints and colors, and it will just override all the app looks at once. Control Center is getting a big upgrade too, with multiple pages, more customizable controls, and third parties will be able to integrate their own app controls into Control Center, and even those buttons on the lock screen, which right now are locked to flashlight and camera. You'll actually be able to customize those soon too. Privacy-wise, you'll be able to lock an app and even hide an app on your iPhone behind Face ID. A bunch of updates to messages, not only bold and italicized, but you could send messages at a later date, schedule it to send. You'll be able to tap back with emojis, not just those stock reactions, add text effects to individual words in a message, and you'll even be able to text via satellite going forward, not just for SOS messages, just for normal texting. Those updates to messages also go to iPad and macOS, along with these changes, like categorization of your mail messages in your inbox, like for transactions, updates, and promotions. There'll be a digest view combining multiple messages from a single brand. Let's say you have a flight coming up and you get a bunch of emails from United. Well, now iOS 18 and macOS Sequoia will put those messages in like a single, very nicely designed summary, and you can just see all that data at once. Maps get topographic maps. Apple Wallet will get a new tap to cash where you don't even have to share your phone or email with someone to pay them. Search is coming to the Journal app, very welcome. And the entire Photos app is going to be redesigned. View your photo library without screenshots, a new place called Collections where you can filter by time, people, memories, or events, and even pin or reorder those collections. There was a whole section for audio and home, so if you have AirPods, you'll actually be able to interact without having to tap them or say something. If there's a call coming in, you'll just be able to nod your head yes or shake your head no, and that can accept or reject the call and take other actions just by the head nod. Your Apple TV is going to get big features too. Something called Insight will give you cast information while you're watching something, and if there's music playing in the background of a movie or TV show, you can actually see the song right on screen and add it to your music library with a click. Captions will turn on automatically if you skip backwards, and there's enhanced dialogue across devices that are connected to Apple TV. Apple also snuck in one of those bento box slides that guest access for your home devices and robot vacuums should be coming to Apple Home. More details on that soon, so be sure to subscribe to the channel right here because I'll be covering even more of these features in depth once the developer beta is installed. Not on my main device, I got a separate device for it. watchOS 11 is going to have big updates for fitness, like customizing the summary page, a new Vitals app for the Apple Watch, and a new Translate app for the Apple Watch, so you'll be able to translate languages right from the watch. You won't even need your phone. Live activities for Apple Watch, like your Uber or Lyft car arriving, and a new Photos face will automatically find great photos in your library and put the time on the photos so it looks nice and make that your watch face. No third-party app watch faces just yet, unfortunately. iPadOS is getting a floating tab bar UI update, and it will change into a sidebar at other times. And there's new ways of viewing docs and pages, numbers, and Keynote. That looks pretty cool. But SharePlay is getting an update where you can actually FaceTime with someone, have them share their iPad screen to your iPad, and then you'll be able to control their device. This will be great for support, or if you're trying to help a family member or friend navigate their iPad, you'll actually be able to control their device remotely from your iPad, and even draw and mark up their screen from your side. That's pretty cool. Oh yes, big deal, calculator, finally on iPad, yeah. Apple also announced a new Math Notes app, which looks amazing, where you can actually write equations in this Math Notes app with Apple Pencil, and it can give you the solutions for it, change the equation, and it will adjust the answer, even show graphs based on the equation, and you can adjust the equation with little dials, and it will update the graph live. Have to play around with that Math Notes tool, but looks awesome. All right, and finally, macOS Sequoia is getting big updates too. All those updates to messages and mail that I mentioned before, but also iPhone mirroring using continuity. So if your iPhone's in another room and you have your Mac, but you need to interact with an app, or let's say do Instacart from your phone, you'll actually be able to control your iPhone from your Mac. Your iPhone stays locked, could be in standby mode if it's on a charger, and you can just interact with it right there on your Mac. I kind of want that for visionOS. They didn't announce that. But hopefully one day we'll get to do iPhone in visionOS, because that's really hard to see and manage your phone that way. Automatic window tiling, so you can drag windows into corners or sides of the screen, and macOS Sequoia will automatically snap them. There's a new presenter view, which will show you exactly what you're about to share in something like a video call, and virtual backgrounds will actually be built into macOS, so you can use it with any third-party video conferencing tool. And yes, I got one of the things I wanted, which was a dedicated passwords app, and that will be across devices, macOS Sequoia, iPhone and iOS 18, and iPadOS 18, dedicated passwords app with different kinds of entries. Really excited to play around with that. And Safari is also getting a huge update, not only with Apple Intelligence, but you'll have a new reader mode where if there's a really long article, you can open reader mode. Safari will actually just create that table of contents for you, give you a summary of that article, plus it will pull out relevant information. So let's say you're on a hotel website and you just cannot find the address. Well, right there at the top of Safari, you'll be able to see a map and get directions right away. It'll just pull that information from the website automatically. There's even a new video player with less distractions, and it'll do automatic picture-in-picture mode. Really excited for these Safari updates. And all of this is just scratching the surface on all these updates. Developers are going to have access to things like that Control Center plus Apple Intelligence. So excited to see what third-party apps do with it. So again, subscribe to the channel. I'm going to dive even deeper into a lot of these features, dedicated videos on iOS 18 and iPadOS 18, and leave comments if you have questions right below this video. I'll answer those either in a future video or down below. And if maybe now you're considering an M4 iPad Pro because of Apple Intelligence, you can check out my review of that right up here. And a lot of these features do seem to be doing things like Shortcuts would do, but I'm hoping Shortcuts gets even more powerful with new actions and some of these features that are coming out soon. So check out this video right here of some of my latest shortcuts with ChatGPT, ironically. But again, subscribe before you go because shortcuts videos in the future on this channel I think are going to be pretty wild. Excited for all these updates. Don't forget to tune into Primary Technology. We're going to do another recap of the keynote, get more in depth. My co-host Jason Aten was actually there in person at Apple Park, so we get to hear from him more about Apple Intelligence and just the overall vibes of everything that was announced. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time.